If you didn't see the video I just posted, it was recorded the morning, just minutes after the market opened for the first time we've actually been able to price in a real Russian invasion. Russia actually declaring real war against Ukraine. And seeing this market downturn and seeing the wild volatility, this leads many investors to ask the question, when will this stock market bottom? Because if we go to the major indexes, let's start with the Dow, okay? If we go to the Dow ETF and we click the day candlesticks and you look at this chart, it is now in correction territory, especially from where this fell. It went from 369 to 322. If you look at the S&P 500, the SPY ETF went from 479.98 all the way down to today's new low of 410.64. If you look at the QQQ, the NASDAQ ETF, it went from 408.71 cents to 318.26. This is now not officially in correction territory, it is actually in bear market territory, meaning a 20% downturn or more, and the same thing can be said about the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. It went from a previous high set back in around November of 2021 at 244.46, and it hit a new low today at 187.92. And so if you're looking at all this, it begs the question, when will the stock market bottom? Well, I have my prediction, and I have my answer. Could be right, could be wrong, but my answer is the stock market will bottom between now and the end of March. And if you don't believe me, hear me out. I'm going to give some very basic, some very psychological based explanations. This is not going to be so much a numbers premise theory like I normally give, but I just want to give you my reasons in this video and why I think that's going to happen. Now, if you haven't seen me before, my name is Jordan. I'm a millennial investor. My goal is to get to $1 million by the age of 40, and this is how I track these goals month over month and how I plan to get there on a year-over-year basis. And if you want to support me and my channel and you like videos such as this, get signed up with One Finance because they're having a massive promotion by giving 125 people so far a $50 referral credit for getting signed up. It has an unlimited amount. Everybody that has it down in my link, down in the description, can use this link to get signed up, and it's absolutely free to do so. They're a great brokerage and help support me and my channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into it and look at how the indexes performed today. Well, first off, they opened up dramatically lower. With the Dow ETF being shown here, it opened up about negative 2.6% down. If you look at the SPY, when it opened up at this morning, it was down negative 2.59%. If you look at the QQQ, when it opened up, it was negative 3.2%. And pretty much a similar story once again for the Russell 2000 ETF. It was negative 2.4%. But the performance for where these companies, for where these ETFs ended up for the day was dramatically positive for several of them. If you look at the Dow, it opened up that negative 2.6%, but finished out in the day positive 0.25%. It eked out a small gain. If you look at the SPY, it had that horrible negative open of about 2.6% and rallied throughout the end of the day and finished out with a positive 1.5% gain. This is an index. This is not a stock. This is in the entire United States index. If you look at the QQQ, the tech-heavy ETF, opened up down 3.2% and finished out an astounding 3.36%, an incredible feat achieved by the NASDAQ. And then same thing for the Russell 2000, negative 2.4%, and finished out an incredible 2.6%. These are 4, 5, 6% swings by some of these indexes, especially the QQQ and the NASDAQ, the QQQ and the Russell 2000. This is absolutely incredible to see that in a day. But this leads to the question, why do I think that these stocks are finally at a bottom? Why do I think that the market crash is finally near its lows and I don't think it's really going to get much worse? Well, I know we've talked about it before, how small cap stocks are getting absolutely pummeled. I know you've seen this on my channel before, but if you look at the large cap ETF for S&P 500 large caps, it's trading at 18.9, and that's before today. If you look at the S&P 400 mid caps, it's at 14.2, one of the lowest it's ever been. If you look at the S&P 600 small caps at 13.5, and this is the point where things really shine. The mid cap and the small caps are so low. You have a couple of big names like your Apple, your Microsoft, your Amazons, a couple of these big names that have held up really well that overweight this index and make it look far better than what it really is. And how do I know that I think that most of these companies have found a bottom? Well, the 4 companies that I own just all happen to be small cap growth stocks. Every single one of them. You have Chewy, a small cap growth stock. You have iRobot, small cap growth stock. Same for Corsair, same for CleanSpark, and they are all pretty much doing the same thing despite these indexes. Looking at the day candlesticks here. New low for the Dow, new low for the S&P, new low for the QQQ, and new low for the IWM. When you look at companies like I own that are small cap growth stocks, they are not hitting new lows. Many of them are far off of their new lows. Corsair Gaming is far off their new low. CleanSpark is far off their new low. iRobot is finally starting to hold up pretty nicely, and same for Chewy, especially Chewy once it started to rally off of that bottom that it's been hitting lately. And if you look at their day charts, they are not only recovering like the indexes, but they are rallying. Chewy ended up 5.59% today. iRobot ended up 6.95% in the positive today. Corsair Gaming ended up 3.33% in the positive today. And then CleanSpark ended up a whopping 12.72% today. And what is shocking to me is that today was supposed to be one of the times that was going to be one of the worst performing days I've ever had. On a dollar basis, I think it probably was shaping up to be the biggest loss I would have ever taken. But instead, I actually ended up about $2,000 in the positive today, and you can see that right here. I ended up $2,073, and that's before these option prices have settled, so it should be higher than that once Fidelity settles these option prices overnight. So it should be like 2,100, 2,200, something like that. But regardless, when you think about how dramatically low the prices are for these, and you think about where these indexes are at, like I said, they just hit a new all-time low for the year of 2022, and this leads to the question, where do we go from here? What is the worst thing that could have happened for the stock market just happened? The thing that everybody's been worried about. When this downturn hit right around here, when you have January 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 24th, right around this week or two period when everything really began to sell off heavily, one of the main fears what was causing that was because of the Ukraine and Russia war. Now, the worst thing that could happen is Russia to just launch a full-scale war against Ukraine, and guess what, guys? That just happened. The bad news is that we have a war. The good news is that worst-case scenario has now been priced into the market. It may still happen over these next couple of days. There may be some more fear, but generally speaking, what do we have to worry about now? Everything that we've been worrying about in terms of the war just happened. So how does it really get worse from here? And the same thing goes for interest rates. Everybody's been worrying about the Fed interest rate, and we've been talking about this since the Fed released its minutes back in December. Yes, that's right. Not a week ago or a couple days ago. Back in December when they released those Fed minutes around December 15th, which is this drawdown right here. See the day where it ended out negative 2.57%, and then it was down 0.5 and then 1.1 the next percent the day. This is also for the QQQ, by the way, in case I forgot to mention that. But these 3 days, the 16th, the 17th, the 20th, those 3 days when it initially shocked the market when the Fed minutes came out, and since then that started the real downturn for these indexes. What has been the case for these companies to fall now? We already know that interest rates are going up. We already know that supply chains are an issue. We've already begun to price this in, and now considering that the Dow and the SPY are in correction territory, and the NASDAQ and the IWM, the Russell 2000, are both in bear markets, over 20% off of their highs, I think this leads me to believe that we are at or near the bottom. We could fall more from here, but no matter what the percentages is, I think that the bottom for the stock market will happen sometime between now and the end of March, pretty much between now and the next month or so. I'm filming this on February 24th, so we have about a month and 4 or 5 days or so from the now and the end of March. But other than that, guys, that's my reason why I believe we will be hitting a bottom very soon. If you want to support me and my channel and you like videos such as this and you want $50 to help you buy that dip in the stock market, you can use this link that is down below in the description. But other than that, guys, keep your head on, keep your head straight. Don't let these crazy market moves affect the way that you invest. Don't make any rational decisions, and just keep on focusing for the long term. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.